Okay, so let me get your music right now.
Welcome back. You know, there's always plenty of questions when someone is the victim of a crime. Perhaps they have a problem with a neighbor and so forth. And how should you act? What should you do? Well, that's why we bring in an officer each month. And this morning we're joined by Officer Craig Murray from the Tulsa Police Department. And he's here to take your phone calls and hopefully try and answer your questions. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you. Good
Holidays
morning.
going well so far for the department? And
things are going well. We are staying busy.
I bet you are. It's an important time of year where you want to make sure people are driving correctly. And, of course, you've got all sorts of road issues this week, so I know you've been dealing with a lot of accidents. All right, let's get right to the phone calls. We're going to start off in Tulsa. Go ahead, you're on the air with Officer Murray.
Hi, I've wondered for years why the Highway Patrol, the Tulsa County Sheriff's Office, and the police departments investigate accidents that in the rainy weather. What is the exact reason that Tulsa PD has Operation Slick Streets?
Tulsa instigated this a number of years ago because of the fact that when we get to a situation where our calls for service need more officers to respond and things, then that ties us up too much if we're responding to a crash, a fender bender. What we are basically doing is we're taking a report, we're taking the information and providing it to an insurance company. Whereas if you are in some situation, there's no injuries or anything, that you can fill it out and send it in yourself. It's just one of those things that Tulsa has implemented that other agencies have looked at. Some are starting to implement it. No particular reason why Tulsa is the only one that's done it and the other agencies have not done it.
As far as you know, and you may not know the answer to this question, but the insurance companies are on board and they accept this and understand that I may come to you with a report that's not been, I guess, notated or certified by a police officer, correct?
Right. They do accept that because it goes in as a police document and it's in our files.
Okay, good enough. Let's go ahead and take another phone call. Again, in Tulsa, you're on the air with Officer Murray. What's your question?
Officer. Hello?
Hi, go ahead.
Yes. I was involved in a car accident in May, which resulted in me having surgery on my rotary cuff. But the lady that she got the ticket. She was Hispanic. She couldn't speak any English. I only had liability on my car, and it was totaled. Why is that I had to file, and when I filed, it would cost me $206. But I talked to two lawyers, and they told me that I couldn't get anything.
Okay, so sort of a legal issue here.
Right, and we get into that situation a lot of times when we respond to a crash and we're investigating it and we find that someone doesn't have insurance or doesn't have driver's license. We cannot necessarily arrest them. We can only issue a citation. And on the citation, especially on a situation where you're involved in a crash, that you have to respond to a court. You have to go in front of a judge and explain things like that. As far as any ramifications, as far as your car getting repaired and things, unfortunately, we have no control on that situation, and that's something that has to be done through insurance companies or through the courts, and it's where you may have to sue a person. And although the attorneys tell you you may not be able to do that, you still have some legal aspects that you're supposed to be able to follow.
Sure. I've got a question for you before we leave. The conceal and carry permit. If you have one of these and you're pulled over, what is the procedure both for the motorist and for the police officer?
Well, I think the law tells them that they have to advise an officer.
You have to tell them
that there is a concealed weapon in the car and that they do have a permit for it. Now, the officer, of course, is more than likely going to find out where the gun's at. They want to make sure that they know where the weapon's at. It's not going to be pulled out and shown or something like that, thinking that another motorist drives by and they're worried about it. But they're going to ask for sure to see the permit on it.
Okay, and again, if you legally have one of these, you should be treated with respect and courtesy by the officer.
Definitely.
Just because you have a gun, it's legal.
It is legal. That is correct.
I'm getting some questions about that, so I wanted to touch on that just briefly, but we're out of time for now, Officer Murray. But if you have another question and you didn't get to it today or didn't hear it, ask a cop at cityoftulsa.org. Email them with your questions, and they will get back to you. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time today. All right, we are going to check on the weather.